and welcome back. The time has come to start with House Atreides and play through their campaign. In most depictions of the Dune universe, House Atreides is mostly regarded as the good guys. I will not read this to you again. If you care to hear me read the prologue or the house introduction, go back to the prologue video I created. And now we meet our Mentat, voiced by me. Greetings, I'm your Mentat Cyril. Together we will purge this planet of the foulness of the other houses. The High Command wishes you to produce 1000 credits. You may earn credits by building a refinery and harvest spice. Now a few things about our Mentat here. First of all, he doesn't look like a Mentat. See, Mentats in Dune have red-stained lips through the sappho juice they drink to become human computers. Also, House Atreides is not known for its blonde guys. See, I can make his mouth move if I click on it. Yeah, let's go on.
Yes, sir. Moving in. Yes, sir. Moving out. Report. Affirmative. Report. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Moving out.
Ah, this brings back memories. A little background about myself. Dune 2 was the first game...
Enemy unit approaching.
Oh,
from
what
the
is
west.
this? Oh, it's a suicidal
Enemy
overdose.
unit destroyed.
As I was saying, Dune 2 was the first game
Yes,
I
sir.
consciously
Moving out.
played
Report.
and won.
Affirmative. Yes, sir. Moving out.
I can't even remember how young I was,
Moving out.
but I was younger than 10. Now, other players I've seen playing Dune 2
Reporting.
do not bother building concrete,
Yes, sir.
but
Moving out.
I decided to show you how I played this when I was a kid, basically. So I will do this by the books. I will build concrete,
Yes, sir.
and
Moving
I
out.
will build the same way I built back then.
Reporting.
Construction complete.
Affirmative.
Now, while I slaughter these orders, a few things about Dune 2. See, Dune 2 is based upon the Lynch movie, not
Construction
the
complete.
books. Well, okay, of course,
Yes, sir.
the movie is based on the
Infantry.
book
Yes,
and
sir.
all.
Infantry out.
But as far as I know, Westwood had the rights to the movie and not the rights to Dune
Our
per
base
se.
is under attack. Enemy unit destroyed.
And all
Yes,
strategy
sir.
games that followed Dune 2
Affirmative.
also used the license of the movie rather than the license of the books. Which led to something kind of interesting. See, there's
Construction
also a
complete.
Dune game by Cryo, which is not owned by EA.
Construction complete.
How?
Reporting.
Well, since
Reporting.
they used
Acknowledged.
the license of the books, not the movie.
Construction complete.
Which also explains why everything looks different in that game. The game is pretty bad,
Yes, sir.
just on a side
Moving
note,
out.
but it explains it.
Construction complete.
Reporting. Affirmative.
See, and that is
Reporting.
what makes me
Acknowledged.
ponder. This game is based on the movie, and certain things are different. For instance, House Atreides
Construction
had the
complete.
color red originally. In the Dune adventure game, adventure strategy game,
Construction complete.
where you play Paul and
Yes,
rally
sir.
the Fremen
Enemy
against the
unit
Harkonnen,
destroyed.
your house is red
Construction
and the
complete.
Harkonnen are blue, which is
Acknowledged.
the correct path. Also, the uniforms are different. House Atreides never had blue uniforms. House Atreides had black uniforms with the red
Construction
falcon on it.
complete. Warning. Enemy unit approaching from the south. Construction complete.
Yeah, just slaughtering some orders here while I prepare the base. Now you may think this is overkill, but I'm using
Enemy
this
unit destroyed.
for I'm using
Construction
this twofold. First, I can tell you a little bit about the game
Reporting.
and
Reporting.
Dune. Also, this is the way I always build my bases. It's kinda slow, but as soon as everything is prepared, things begin to become very fast.
Construction complete.
See, I'm gonna build 2 refineries and a wind trap, and I'm basically laying down the foundation right now.
Complete.
Since the enemy AI never attacks,
Located.
and I lost a unit. See, there, it's gone.
Reporting.
On that subject, a spice bloom or pre-spice mass is basically moisture and sand trouts
Construction
that are turning to spice but have not yet become spice. So if you hit that, it explodes. You can see that in the new Dune movies as well, where Liet Kynes walks into one and explodes.
Acknowledged.
But more about the physiology of sandworms, sand trouts, and the spice at a later point.
Moving out.
I do not intend to flood you with everything in the very first mission.
enemy unit destroyed.
A few things you will also notice if you've never seen Dune 2 before. First up, there is no Fog of War. Fog of War was something Command & Conquer came up later. So everything I explore is visible.
Yes, sir. Infantry out.
Also, that skeleton-looking thing is a carry-all,
Atreides harvester deployed.
and our harvester will start to mine spice now. See, spice is this orange stuff. It's a drug basically,
Yes, sir.
which is
sir.
mandatory for
Infantry
space travel. The guild, who to I refer in my self-made intro,
Yes, sir.
are basically
Yes,
humans
sir.
that use spice to expand their consciousness and mutate into stages like the second stage and third stage. And the higher they mutate, the less they look like humans, they look like monsters. In the newer versions they look more like aliens with angel wings, which is I think closer to the books, but I'm not sure. In the Lynch movie they look like a giant head fetus thing. They also cannot talk normally anymore. They use some sort of they use some sort of translating object, which again is prevalent in the Lynch movies, to translate their guttural voices into something intelligible. Like in the first scene where the Emperor meets the third stage guild navigator. I think his name was Edric or something, I can't remember. Anyway, see, now we're waiting for the harvester to come back with some spice, so we can build another refinery. As I was saying, spice is basically a drug, and the guild needs it, but basically everyone takes a little spice in the known universe. However, most people can live off very, very little spice, and it has basically no negative side effects.
Yes, sir.
Some gain visions and
Moving out.
I'd say psionic abilities, just to make it easier to understand. There are the Bene Gesserit that use spice to extensive use,
Reporting.
allowing them to develop certain abilities like the voice, which I will talk about
Atreides
at some...
harvester
yeah, I
deployed.
totally meant to do that. God damn, misclicks. Anyway, they use it to develop certain abilities like the voice.
Atreides
If you've seen the
harvester
movie, you know what the
deployed.
voice is. If you have not, I
Yes,
will
sir.
talk about it later.
Moving out.
So anyway, Dune 2 is basically the story of the Dune book, just a little bit butchered. You're basically a newly hired commander, and your mission is to conquer Dune for your house.
Yes, sir.
The Fremen
Moving
and
out.
House Atreides and House Harkonnen are all canon. House Ordos is not.
Reporting.
Back then, Westwood created House Ordos as a third option
sir.
because they
Moving
thought
out.
having 3 options instead of 2 would make the game more interesting. And honestly, I can't argue with that. House Ordos was my favorite house for a long time, since House Atreides is too much goody two-shoe and House Harkonnen are just insane violent gingers, if you believe the Lynch movie. Anyway, we're waiting for the harvesters to return now. See, what's funny is, if you click on the Mentat, you can make certain parts of his face move. Like his eyes are following your mouse cursor, and if you click on his mouth, he will open it like this. Yeah, we know all this. Another thing I'd like to mention is that originally there isn't this much stone everywhere on Dune. Dune, or the planet is actually called Arrakis, was a swamp planet before the sand shrouds were introduced onto the planet from some other place. I'm not sure how, I haven't read that particular book yet. And the sand shrouds basically consume moisture, and over millennia they turned Arrakis into Dune. So this was a swamp planet long, long ago. Anyway, actually rock is limited to certain regions on Dune. In the open desert there is rock, but not enough to build actually buildings on them. I will talk about more all of this in detail in the coming missions. Congratulations! I knew that you would achieve your goal with very little trouble. I look forward to assisting you in future missions. Yeah, as you can see, I was trying around a little bit with House Atreides before to make sure everything was working correctly for this Let's Play. And now I'm struggling to find a name that will fit. So in the end I just decide to take my original nickname. And now we come to Arrakis. I have no idea why it's lagging. Anyway, to take control of the land that has become divided, the Atreides claimed strategic regions. House orders moved on into the east. The Harkonnen invaded from the north. Select your next region. Funny to mention, but House Harkonnen is also in the north in the other Dune game that came around this time. Anyway, you will have to wait for the next video to see which region I chose. Until then, remember, the spice must flow. I'm your host, Pariah Dark. Until then.